afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. We got laser beams today. Look at the laser beams. One coming from my left, one coming from my right. One is red, one is a spectrum of blue, I want to say. I don't know, what do you guys think? What color is that? Is that purple blue? Well, we can go with that. It's a nice blue. It's a good blue. Hope you're ready today. Hope your bodies are ready for PulseChain Bulls Only. This is a segment or a show that meant to get you bullish, meant to talk about some positive, fun, engaging, bullish things that we may see in the PulseChain ecosystem, macro-wise, crypto, number go up, all that fun stuff. So it should be fun. Got a few different topics Richard tweeted. We'll talk about that as well. And yeah, without further ado, welcome back to the show, Crypto, Kong, and Fast. How's it going, gents?
Doing good.
It's always the moment where it's always more like, who talks first? Let me watch the lips of the other person, and then just kind of like social engineer into the. I always like the bringing in the guests. It's one of my funnest parts. Yeah, pretty fun. You guys nailed it though. Yeah, feeling bullish then?
Yeah, happy to be back. So, yeah, been a little bit since I've been on stream, but it's always a good show or stream when RHMax is on. So, and Fast too. I think we've been on a few streams now together. So
that's true. Got to know each other, kind of riff off each other pretty well. I think so. Gents, what is
the pros?
It's like, you know what? If there was a separation of a ability to categorize the different streams or streamers or guests or otherwise into pros and not pros, I'm putting you guys in the pro category. You're in the pro bucket.
Let's go. We made the cut.
Let's go. You made the cut. It's a big
like
list.
A hot versus crazy correlation that kind of applies to streamers, same as with girls. You know,
spectrum. They're on a spectrum.
Yeah. There's a spectrum.
Yeah. We're talking about the debate too. It's anyone not catch the debate yesterday? I feel like a lot of people didn't, because that's, for some reason, that's one of the lower rated debates of all. Got some dislikes on that one too, I want to say, which was weird. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it comes from probably the other. Is that a vote for Pedro? The dislikes. I don't know. Like, why would you even dislike it? It's like it doesn't even. It's not like he's getting points for it or anything. But
people will be angry that, you know, if they're a pro like RH coins only, they'll be angry that Pedro is saying things, or they'll be angry that you even had him on, or the vice versa. The meme guys will be angry that, you know, you represented the other side, you know. So I think in this case, all publicity is good publicity.
From engagement comes education. I need to get that t-shirt, right? Yeah, I think bringing both sides together, if you actually watch the debate, you will probably learn something, and you'll either be reinforced on the side that you like, or have some, you know, empathy for the other side, or at least understanding, or you may change your mind. So to me, it's a win-win. I don't know how many other controversial topics we can cover, but we're gonna keep debating. We're on 9. Let's make it 10. Let's make it 10 one day, or maybe Kong will get on too.
Yeah, right. Abdul? I'll have to call out the. I have to call it the fire whale again. But yeah, I don't know. I'll say it on stream. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the fire whale will be watching or anything like that. I don't know if you saw my tweet or anything. But I think it would be a fun debate, good debate, and everything like that. So
what would you be debating the fire whale about? What would the topic be?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
I think probably you see, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably just between maybe the Grace currency and SolidX. And I know we even have like he has a Solid Trader. I got the token trader.win. So maybe that'll get brought up in the conversation too. So
just be a competition thing with similar products.
Yeah, hopefully not too bad like that. But yeah, I was saying, like, feel like a nice friendly debate just to kind of and I think it's good for the eyeballs just in general, right? Just more eyeballs is better. So
yeah, I mean, you bring people in again. It's if you can do it in a way that, at least my style is, do it in a way that it becomes entertaining and educational at the same time. You hold people's attention, but also make it like thought provoking. A lot of people just come on to vote for their team, and that's fine too. But I think, these ideas are worth discussing, or at least, I mean, what else are we going to do till we get a 10,000x? Come on, let's do something.
Just more and more debates. So
yeah, just the debates will continue until the 10,000x. There we And then we'll be debating, what color Lambo we're gonna get, right? That'll be some fun debates.
Yeah, right. Eventually we'll get to that point. It's like, no, I like the blue better. No,
Can
the
you
green
see-
for the green candles.
Can you see like February 2026, RHMax, the Lambo debate? Let's go. Should it be Pump-A-Middle green versus hex gradient? Like which one's better? I like it.
One day we'll be debating, best sports cars to buy with our gains. I think that could be that could be interesting. It's probably going to be 3 to 6 months down the road. We're having that debate, but I'll be there for that. My position is that rather than a Lamborghini, I'm going to buy 400 minivans.
So my first instinct is
what do you need 400 minivans for?
Yeah. What is the
where you parking?
Whatever I want. Like I can fit like 8 pieces of drywall in a minivan.
One for every day of the year.
I could run like a delivery service. I could rent them out to Uber drivers. There's so many uses. Whereas
Lamborghini be electric and
Lamborghinis,
self-driving by that point.
Is that the method? Just no Lambo 400 minivans?
Yeah, I think for wealth generation, I feel like the minivans are going to be a better tool. In the bear market, my 400 minivans are going to have a lot higher yield than a Lambo. Chances are.
You're just sticking it to the system. Everyone wants Lambos? Nah, that ain't me.
Yeah.
That's
There's a lot of gravel roads where I live. I feel like the Lambos, the low riders, probably not going to be super hot.
Yeah, it's logistics, maintenance. There's going to have lower maintenance costs, I imagine. Depends on what you want to do there.
They probably don't make winter tires for Lambos. I'm pretty sure.
Winter tires for Lambos. Do they? Are they all just racing tires? See, this is the thing we're going to learn.
Lambos are rear wheel drive, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be just terrible on the ice. You would die.
Yeah. The people.
No, I'm sure they have some winter tires. Like maybe I'm sure they have like off-road
I've been doing the
tires.
research, guys, and
okay, let's get some people on this. This is important. But these are the kind of questions that we're going to be talking about in 6 months, in my opinion. Like, does somebody know a good supplier of winter tires for Lambos? Right? Like that's if you're into PulseChain now, that might be your main concern,
bro.
It's like on everyone's top of their mind. So it's like, oh no, will I be able to get winter tires for my Lamborghini? Will they fit?
You heard it first. You heard it first here. Remind us in 6 months. We'll have the Lambo debate, and hopefully we'll be far enough along to make that make sense. Yes. Gents, the big man tweeted. He tweeted a thing.
He did.
I'll read a little bit of it.
This is the best marketing piece he's tweeted, but it was kind of interesting, and he had some very good points about security and child rearing and virgins, and yeah, I liked it.
I just like the last line.
The last one. Well, here we go. Let's skip to it, Ren. If you want to have 2 kids divide a cake evenly amongst themselves, you have the first kid cut next year. Yeah, that is the thing I've heard, and I can confirm that is probably that makes sense. Yeah,
I think that is the way to do it. So that's what I pulled from the tweet.
Yeah, the rest of it's just mostly like like Fast said, it's mostly like. Let's read a little bit and moving into it. The myth of Richard Hart approved. Nearly nothing. He loves to say nearly. I have yet to see. I'm sure there is some tweet about him saying absolutes, but he usually puts nearly in these things. It's like almost a Richard Hart-ism at this point. Nearly
that
nothing.
Or question marks, not absolute.
I think the question marks are strategic, where you can't say, "Oh, I didn't say that was going to happen. I questioned it." I think those are strategic.
Sure.
Definitely part of the vernacular. I don't know what the expression is for the language piece, but I explained to you the risks and how you can do things better. Hopefully you'll take the advice and it works out for you. So once again, I'm going to tell you how to do things better and hope it helps you. Reduce your counterparty risk by spreading your transactions out. All off-chain exchanges and all bridges have counterparty risk. You greatly reduce their risk to you if you just spread out whatever you're doing over smaller transactions. So in case anyone doesn't know what that means, what I took from it was, it's kind of like going back to, instead of sending, a $10,000 or $100,000 a big transaction over to, for example, you just send it to a new address or something, and you're like, okay, you're sweating. Is this the right address? Did I double check everything? If you just do like a test send, you send like 1 ETH instead of sending 100 ETH, for example, then you know, hey, that address worked. That transaction went through instead of sending all at once. So it's kind of in the same vein as that. The way I took it is, yeah, you know, you can, if you're afraid of bridges, you're afraid of like some service or whatever, then don't do a huge transaction over it. Just do like a few smaller ones in case in the middle something goes wrong with the other ones, you don't lose everything. Is that what you guys got from that?
That was a good point. I'll also say I think he said in the tweet, but it's pretty much for everything, right? I think especially even for exchanges, whether it's like a bridge or even if it's like a new DEX or something, you can always try it out with like a few dollars, especially on PulseChain. It's not expensive to swap a few dollars, right? It might cost you a few pennies, but yeah. And I think if you're doing deposits on exchanges and stuff, you probably want to not, I mean, you definitely can just throw it all in at once, but you probably want to make sure you at least test it first, make sure everything goes through smooth, and then, you know, kind of throw it in smaller chunks like he's saying. Because if something goes wrong, like it is true, like no one wants to deal with that. So if it is like, if it does go wrong, hopefully it's not with a substantial amount of funds, right? So.
And even if you were moving, you know, substantial to some people like $10,000, you could still move it through, you know, the condom wallet, right? Like because it doesn't mean that your other wallet would be infected. So even if you're like, okay, I'm moving this out to a centralized exchange to cash out, or I'm moving in from a centralized exchange, like you can roll between like a barrier wallet to your main wallets, and there's no harm done for doing that, right? Like it's going to cost you 10 cents extra in gas if you're doing it on PulseChain. It's not a bad thing to always use that. And I use that in my wallets. I'll have like a wallet, like an in wallet and out wallet, right? Like you can, you know, for new people, like with MetaMask or Rabby or Internet Money, you can just click the add wallet button and create a new address within the wallet, right? So that's on the main seed phrase, but you can have like 50 wallets underneath this main seed phrase. And if something goes wrong with one of them, it won't affect the other ones as long as you keep your seed phrase safe.
I saw a post, and maybe this is why Richard maybe brought it up at least a little bit. And I'm not going to be able to find the post, but I saw someone, I think there was a malicious smart contract that drained some people's tokens from them setting approvals like 400 plus days ago or something like this. Like they had done it like a long time ago to the point where you probably even forgot you had set those approvals in the first place. And if you're doing that on your main wallet, like it's like, you know, it's not ideal, right? Like Fast is saying, it's pretty much always best practice. And of course, like, you just want to be careful if you're moving funds in any way, right? But moving it into like a hot wallet or a different cold wallet to set your approvals, do your swaps, do all that type of stuff, and then transfer those funds into a wallet that pretty much doesn't do anything other than send and receive tokens, right? Doesn't have any approvals, doesn't interact with any smart contracts, doesn't go clicking on a bunch of dApps, right? That type of stuff. So I think that's another kind of a security layer you guys can have, which is what Richard's saying. It's free, right? It might cost you a little bit extra time and just pay a little bit more attention when you're doing all that type of stuff, but it will likely save you in the future, especially if like the smart contracts sometimes don't even need to be malicious. Like maybe there's a bug and someone has an exploit, right? Stuff like that. So you can never be too careful in crypto. So
yeah, that's a great plug for Revoke.cash too. It's always good to limit your approvals whenever you're not actively using the dApp, especially for NFT marketplaces. It reduces the risk of losing your funds to hacks or exploits. Can also help mitigate the damage of phishing scams. So yeah, in general, like if you just go and revoke stuff you're not using, then you just, in case there is some issue of some sort, whether it's malicious or unintended or some new kind of attack where they like get you to click through the stuff and do it or whatever, then you wouldn't be affected unless you do another approval for it. So it's like just kind of defense in depth is what you call it in security. It's trying to make it harder for these things to happen.
Yeah, Revoke.cash is a great tool. I think, you know, especially for new people, like if you're not sure, like do this once a month, like revoke all your approvals. Like aside from, again, like a minor amount of gas cost to do it, it's not going to be, nothing bad happens when you revoke an approval, to my knowledge. Do your own research, but yeah, I don't think aside from the gas cost there's any penalty to revoking an approval.
Yeah, it just means you got to do it again if you want to use the app. You made an approval, so you can use the app or use the contract or do whatever function, and then you're revoking that. You're removing it, and so that's tough from understanding.
The other one that I think new people should look at is when you do approvals, like in most wallets, there's you're approving for a certain amount, and they often default to the max or some crazy number, right? Like you'll do an approval
like unlimited
for
usually.
USDC, and it'll default to like $7 million. Like you can go in and edit that to only default it, like to set the approval for $400, so that it can't infinitely, access those funds. And of course, you'd have to do the approval again if you want to move more than $400. Yeah. But setting limits on your approvals, not a terrible plan.
That's the thing. I think there's some nuance between, commonly hear people say, oh, never use unlimited approvals, never do all this stuff. And if you don't, then like you pointed out, then okay, if you want to do more than that at some point, then you got to redo it again, do it again. So it's just one of those, the way the tech works is kind of annoying. Maybe there's some EIP that'll fix it in the future, but it's kind of like you don't really have a good option. It's either, and of course, most people are going to trade the flexibility and ease of use for the, the security theory part of it a lot of times, or they're just going to yell, never to unlimited approvals, never. It's like, if am I going to be more concerned about doing unlimited approvals with PulseX? Because I know it's like not a scam thing, and I know like it's not going to like take all my money one day, even though there's, again, the approval, defensive depth stuff, all that we talked about by just either not doing it or revoking it when you're not using it. Sure. But at the same time, like I would be much more up for doing by doing limited approvals for some new app I've never used before, or some shady thing I need to do to get some airdrop or whatever, than I would with like some of the official stuff. So that's kind of the way I look at it, because if you're saying no, never do unlimited approvals, then depends on how much you're trading, how much you're transacting. It's gonna be super annoying, and eventually you may convince yourself to be like, oh, fuck this, I'm gonna do unlimited now, and you just kind of like, it just turns into that. So it's just a unfortunate feature of how the blockchain works as of now. So hopefully in the future, Vitalik, Big Brain, Alien, get us some new features, get some new AIPs. PulseChain can pick them up, make that easier.
Richard's Quantum wallet is kind of a fix for that concept, right? Because like you could have a wallet where you do have unlimited approvals that you only move through to do certain things, and but there's no money left sitting in there. That all gets sent to your secure, hardware wallet supported. There
you go. Maybe that's the solution, is using a Quantum wallet with unlimited approvals only, not using unlimited approvals with your bigger wallets or something. Maybe that's like makes things easier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I'll say just
go ahead.
I'll say just on that, like I think if you have a cold, like let's say you have a cold, let's say it's your treasure chest, your cold wallet, extremely cold wallet, you want to keep all those funds secure. I don't think it's best practice to have any sort of approval set up there, like Richard's saying. Like, just, of course, it's extra steps, but you should probably have a Condom wallet or one of those transaction wallets to just, ensure your treasure chest stays, there and not somewhere else. So,
yep.
But enough about prophylactics. What else does Richard say?
Well, I think he kind of turned it. He is elaborating further on maybe some specific example of what he's talking about. A lot of people may guess Liberty Swap here. Let's see what you guys think. For instance, if a bridge is really fast and affordable because it doesn't have a bunch of validators that have to approve a bunch of multi-sig confirmations, it's faster and cheaper, but in theory has more counterparty risk because it doesn't require a collusion of validators to make problems. Okay, that was these sentences. So if you're using a faster, cheaper bridge, know that it's more risky, but you can reduce risk by splitting up your bridging over time. So if something goes wrong, it goes wrong far less. Works for all kinds of transactions. There was a smiley face there. Works for all kinds of transactions. What is that? You guys read something into that? Why is there a smiley face there? Anybody know?
It's transactions.
Because he's talking about just, I would think, if this is Liberty Swap, for example, then there's...
I might just be in context if he's not trying to attack anyone's projects, but just saying something kind of in general still.
No, I don't think he's saying anything bad about anything. I think he's just saying like, because again, this is my instinct from it is a lot of people are using a Liberty swap and applying them all that stuff. And rightfully so, they've been doing an amazing job getting PulseChain from other bridges and stuff easier. And he's just comparing like the regular bridge or any bridge or that service to something else. And I guess this even came up because maybe people were saying Richard Hart approved because you tweeted about it or has on PulseChain.com. That was my first instinct.
Yeah, that could be. The Liberty Swap's not really a bridge. Like I think most of or all of the things that come to PulseChain via Liberty Swap are pretty much actually coming over via the RH bridge. They're more of like a cross-chain swap app that has a pool of liquidity on PulseChain, so they can pay you out quickly on the other side. Though, I'm sure there's a bit of a nod to Liberty Swap here.
Where'd you learn that? Was that on a recent stream?
I was on some show with some guy. I don't know. I think he was smart.
Is that the Crypto Solve guy? He was pretty good.
He was pretty sharp, wasn't he?
How does work? I'm trying to find the video, the clip for that too. Here we go. So that's where we talked about how does Liberty Swap and how does Gibbs finance work, which is not a lot of people know. Like I didn't know. Like I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't. I wasn't quite aware of. He was saying that. I'll drop this in chat because if anyone wants to watch it. He was talking about.
I learned I knew a little bit, but that was great. I learned a lot from him about how it actually worked, and it just made sense, right? So if you want to know what Liberty Swap is, watch this clip.
Yeah, because there is some counterparty risk, I guess you would say, because they got to move. I mean, I guess to make it work, I'm trying to think of like, is there counterparty risk around the funds, or is there counterparty risk around just making it work smoothly because they got to do the liquidity, make sure there's liquidity for tokens and stuff? Can't remember what he was talking
There's
about.
some risk around the funds because, like you are using another smart contract, somebody's bridging for you. But when you start to think about the amount of counterparty risk, depending on what you're doing, like let's say you were moving from Base to PulseChain, right? There's multiple bridge transactions involved in that, right? Like it's probably going from Base to Ethereum and then Ethereum to PulseChain. They're handling all of that part, and you would normally have to do that 2 bridges yourself, right? So you click the button once, somebody does 2 transactions on your behalf. For a lot of people, that would actually be less risk, in my opinion. If you're just talking about bridging from Ethereum to PulseChain, then like technically less risk and just using the RH bridge yourself. But it would be. Yeah, if you're coming from Arbitrum, most people wouldn't even know how to do that, and you'd be more likely to make a mistake. They obviously have the roots figured out.
Somebody wrote the image is 369 kilobytes, and now I'm asking the AI if that's true. I'm getting curious. Maybe it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, so. It's I think he's just talking about this where I quote tweeted and talked about this a little bit where whether he did pump tires, whether he's behind Liberty Swap, whether it's approved, whether it's not, like I don't know. It's I think the most important part of this was let's see. Yeah, this one. There we go. Things must be good or bad based on your evaluation of them and how you use them. Never let someone tell you Richard Hart approved and you dare use their statement to replace your own due diligence. DYOR. There you go. You must reward that which is good by knowing better from worse, using your own mind. Yeah. So I never like to see anyone be like, oh, Richard said this, or Richard approved this, or whatever. I'm always like, unless I see it from him myself, I never take it. Yeah. I don't think that unless he tweets about it and directly says I am behind this, or I did this, or I approve this, or I like this, or whatever. Anyways, he's just saying think instead of just get it from other people. Did he say anything that's we're lucky to have awesome computer science breakthroughs? I always feel like is he ever pointing to something on this, or is he just saying in general? Like, did PulseChain devs make a computer science breakthrough? Or is he just saying, like, is this like a casual statement?
I think he's just talking about how open source is good. Like, yeah, and it's less common.
I'm trying to read something into it, but right? I can't see anything. Less common most blockchain stuff is open source, I would say. Most of the network side, at least.
Yeah, but not
And
on the protocol side, the code side. There's lots of not open source things.
I would say on the front ends, but I mean, every verified contract is technically open source. That's why maybe verify them. But then you can't read the source, and this whole debate of like, oh, what's it mean to, should they be everything be verified or not, so you can read it, or what about intellectual property? I guess there's a whole debate on that too, but I don't know. I'm always on this statement. I'm always like, is he saying, because he said this probably 2 or 3 times about computer science breakthroughs. I think, is he pointing to something coming that is a breakthrough that we're gonna see, or is it just be grateful? Maybe be grateful. Could be. So not a bullish tweet. By the way, Xavier's is on here too. By the way, he started putting PulseChain together instead of separating them. I made one post. I was like, I did the Justin Timberlake hold on, let me find it. It was pretty funny. And then eventually he started putting PulseChain together, maybe because it tags better, I would say. Let me see if I can find it. But this guy, what do you guys know about this guy, by the way?
I like him.
Sure.
I think he's pretty funny, and he seems to be legitimately promoting PulseChain in a hilarious way. So, yeah. And I've heard people talk about like, oh, there's like he has lots of bots to follow him and stuff like that, and like maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but like there's a lot of exposure there. I think it's probably an overall boon at the moment, but we'll have to keep an eye on him.
I've seen a lot more people have been making videos, content coming out of nowhere. I mean, do you think people are these sponsored things? Do you think they're these accounts and otherwise? I'm not that it even matters. Like I got talked about the other day on the stream. Like I don't even care if people are paying people to talk about Pulse. Like that's, hey, pump your bags, like whatever. But do you think this is like we're going to keep seeing more and more just random big accounts or influencers or otherwise come up and just start talking about PulseChain for one reason?
I don't think anybody's paying that guy. I think he's just making a play. So. Like he's probably pumping his own bags, is what I suspect, right? Because he's not, so far anyway, he's not pushing specific projects, specific meme coins much. It's more of a, just general pushing PulseChain. So
just wait.
Not a bad thing.
No one starts pushing meme coins or otherwise for a while. Like it seems like there's always a pattern. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just in general, it's always like, oh, I'm just here for, I'm just going to do stuff for the community. I'm going to do stuff. And then eventually there's like, by the way, I have a group or I have a meme coin or I have a, I'm going to try to make PulseChain better by this. Join me. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we have Xavier coin at some point. Now, there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, yeah, we may see it. Damn, I can't find that.
People have to do their own research on stuff like that. Like, cause that's, but I think still overall benefit, right? As long as you don't get something that really drains the ecosystem. If you had, let's say Andrew Tate come into PulseChain, like that guy's reputation isn't that hot as far as, pump and dumps, but like I'd kind of prefer to see him posting about PulseChain than not if I had the choice.
That would be a very, I don't know. Some people would agree and some people wouldn't. I would, any popular person that has followers that talks about PulseChain, it would be hard for me to say that's not a good thing. And there's been plenty of people who, some people like BitBoy, some people don't like BitBoy, whatever. There's a whole PulseChain podcast. You remember the PulseChain podcast? There's like 5-7 episodes of it.
Yeah, so, I was on one of them.
There you go.
So. With BitBoy, and it's like, yeah, I'd love to see BitBoy come back as soon as he's not incarcerated.
There you go. Maybe he'll come back. He'll drop a coin or just hang out. I don't know. That'd be fun. Yeah, this is the one where he kept saying PulseChain separate. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's going to pick up better. I'm just thinking. So I said, drop the space. I love that movie, by the way. Shout out to The Social Network. Great movie. Because that's when he's like, drop the just Facebook. If anyone's not familiar with the movie. So we got new big influencer who has many, many followers and seems to really like PulseChain. I think. Yeah.
And he's got some. There's some pretty funny ones.
He retweeted
too,
you.
Right?
He retweeted
nice.
you.
Thank you for the advice.
Oh, hold on. He retweeted your reply to RH. Okay.
That's right.
That's funny.
You must have, that was a good
Thankful
reply,
for
dude.
it.
That's funny.
Fast ass and based replies from time to time.
I
Okay.
get bored easily.
I haven't got a chance to look at any of these. They're pretty funny. All right. Well, we hope he drives us. Green candles further up. This gentleman. This guy.
Yeah.
Welcome
I mean,
to Team
I'll
Win.
say too, I think it's still positive if anyone's talking about the coins and RH tickers and Pulse and all that type of stuff. Like, yeah, and to be honest with you, I think more people will start to talk about it when the green candles come, because I think that's what they're here for, is the green candles. And once we see more of those, like, I think you'll turn some heads for sure. So,
You guys want me to play? I'm not gonna play sound, but you can imagine the Gangnam Style song. Yeah, we need some more. I need to get it pumped up. I would totally add that to the to my list of videos, but then I was going to be like copyright strike, blah blah blah. So pretty fun though. I dropped in the chat in case anybody wants to play it on your own headphones, so that YouTube does not like it. Can I get a let's go? How about, you know what? I'm gonna get a konnichiwa on that one. Konnichiwa! That was a good konnichiwa. That's a good one. Gents, what's bullish? What do you guys? I got a few things I can pull up too, but what do you feel like? What's the beat? What's the heart beat? What's the pulse beat on the pulse chain right now?
Still lots
I don't know.
of,
You probably talked
pump
about
on
it,
Liberty's
but
blunt.
Guys are excited. Let's go.
I think you probably talked about it. I like RH tweeted the other day with, I don't know if I talked about it on stream or not or anything like that, but with the I can't remember. Well, everyone knows what the tweet said. I'm not gonna be able to repeat it off the top of my head, but he had like the snowman thing, dude,
That's
looking
snowman?
like type of character. I don't know if it was maybe a Yeti. I don't know, but
Right,
you guys
yeah.
know which tweet I'm talking about. I think that was. I think people were. I think he got people excited about it.
What's your take on that? I haven't heard Kong's take on this one.
Yeah, this thing. No, it pretty much. I think it's I don't know what he has planned, but it seems like the pieces are starting to come together from what it sounds like. It also sounds like it sounds like to be honest with you, I actually think he was trying to almost beat out the non-believers, which does make sense, because I think and it shows on the chart, right? A lot of people did sell, a lot of people have sold, a lot of people got out, and once he started to talk more bullish and have that sort of what is it? It seems like he has a game plan. He's not telling us exactly what it is, but it seems like things will or might at least turn around here shortly. So we'll see. But I think the final line where he was talking about all the haters and and haters, you might as well get your memes ready because you're going to be very butthurt. So I think that was a good way to end it off and stuff. Yeah, the match is nearly struck. Be ready for greatness. So.
I think like I said before, he doesn't speak in absolutes very much. This was pretty much like it's going to happen. Like, we are going to the moon, and all the haters not going to like it. And green candles, look out for them. Be ready for greatness. Prepare yourself. And this is the one I talked about last time when I first covered the match is nearly struck. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think the match has been struck. I think that was like purpose, maybe could be purposeful there, like nearly. I don't think the match is struck. I think, to me, the match being struck is when mega marketing, when they start going out. I think, if you're bullish, I don't know. What's the bull take on when mega marketing happens? He starts live streaming again? Is that like the best case scenario, or the worst case is we just start seeing a bunch of green candles for one reason or another? What do y'all think?
It
Richard
could be a
streaming
perfect
again
storm.
would be hot, but we don't know whether that's about the market or about like a legal situation, right? Like, so we might have to be satisfied with green candles.
Yeah, I said the other day, like I don't expect anything other than a Christmas video. However, I'd be very, very happy to see a live stream this year.
And I don't know, maybe he'll tie the Christmas stream into something else, and who knows what happens into the New Year's and stuff. But yeah, he always does the. I mean, he has a good track record of the Christmas. What is it, like video calls or something like that?
I think we'll see
I
more
think it was a voice
pre-recorded
chat.
messages
Yeah.
like that, right? Like that was the last one was live, like he was on the screen. I don't believe it was AI and he was speaking. So I think we'll see that before we see actual live streams. I think he wants to live stream though, like watching his old stuff, like he's enjoying himself, right? So, as soon as he can, he surely will live stream.
That's a good point. I don't think he would have done those 6-hour streams if he hated it or something like that. Like I think he could probably find I mean, if you're Richard, you could probably find a better way or easier way, or if he didn't like it, like something that he could like better to accomplish the same thing along those lines. But
he's probably doing stand-up comedy wherever he is right now, just in preparation so it's not too much pent-up energy, Christmas video. Ho, 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 everyone. Welcome back. Did you miss me? Richard Hart here to beget some green candles. I mean, the community does that. We're going to do it together. Let's go. Ho, 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 everyone.
The next time somebody sees a Richard Hart recording could be when the massive, never before seen marketing postcard 2.0 comes out. If that is a pre-recorded video on some sort of device, that could be it. That's going to get a bunch of new eyeballs. So that's one of the things I'm most bullish on is that marketing. Like the first 200,000 pieces probably coming out September, October, and then to be followed by millions of more pieces of marketing material that are an electronic device that, at this point, I think is probably a video device that is going to draw some eyeballs, probably hit the national news in several countries. It's going to be, it's not going to do nothing. I feel confident in saying that.
Millions of tasers.
Millions of tasers. That would be on the news. Like, Spam King mails out
lots of eyeballs, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The headline: Spam King mails out millions of tasers. Like, that's not quite what we're going for. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I think people are sleeping on the mega marketing. They're sleeping on the impact it's going to have, and I think it's such a compounding effect because people are going to get it. They're probably going to like it. They're going to take pictures of it. They're going to. Hopefully, we're going to be able to acquire them on eBay or something because I'd like to have one. I'd like to, that'd be cool. Great souvenir. Next meetup, they're just.
I think it would be cool if it becomes like a collectible or something like that, and there starts to become like a second market for it and stuff like that. That would be interesting.
I could tokenize this.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be an
fast as alright. What can I do? What tech can I build on that?
But like the actual effectiveness of the marketing, I think like I heard, like a lot of people are like, oh no, it's, like a mailer, this isn't going to work and this and that. But like, you just have to think about your target. Like, 21-year-olds are not the target, right? Like this is going to be targeted at like 50 plus people who have probably a lot of disposable income. And like that direct mailing is one of the best forms of marketing per dollar spent. Still to this day for that market. If your target is 50 plus and people who have actual money, then direct mailing is going to beat email. It's going to beat like whatever Facebook marketing most of the time for the initial contact anyway. Follow-ups, like this could just be the start of a larger marketing plan. We don't know what the thing's going to say. We don't know what website it's going to send them to exactly. Like we know that it's going to list the PulseChain websites, but like there could be a landing page, like there could be all sorts of data that can be acquired for remarketing to the same people again. Like it's going to be very interesting to actually see how that works. And I think the effect is going to be like if we start talking millions of people and there's like a video message and there's links, maybe there's some sort of free thing on chain that they can get, could be huge.
The greatest call to action we've ever seen is about to happen. Like, I don't know why anyone could possibly sleep on this. I think, again, it's just the beaten down, like red candle syndrome of like, oh, Richard's going to try this. He's going to mail stuff to people and see what happens. this is part of the kickoff. How is this not the kickoff to the PulseChain bull run and the mega mark and like the whole glory ecosystem theory? Like, how is this not the piece that happens first for it? I've yet to hear anything, but like that makes the most sense possible. So do not sleep on this marketing.
We don't know this is an untested idea. Like if I was Richard, what I would have done is start up like a tiny company, mail out a bunch of these things, to whatever group you're after, and like try to sell 10 watches or some other thing that was vaguely correlated but had nothing to do with this, just as a test, right? Like, okay, I'm going to send out 10,000 of these things to people, offering them discounted Rolexes. And if I send out 10,000, how many Rolexes do I sell? Like that sort of marketing test is one of the things that higher end companies do under like under a different brand, right? Just to see if your concept works. And I wouldn't be surprised if Richard did something like that. He'll probably never tell us about it, but like he may already have proof of concept.
What do you think he's been doing for the last 3 years?
Yep.
He's been mailing stuff out.
Probably not nothing.
Chicken metrics. Yeah.
Could
That would be funny. Like the 60-minute interview is like, yeah. And everyone out there who thought I was just like hanging out with girls the whole time, I was actually mailing a bunch of stuff out to make sure this thing worked and the glory happened. So there you go.
What if we find out some other like recent, very successful company is actually owned by Richard Hart using that advertising technique? That'd be hilarious.
One of the incorporated in 2024. There you go. Fast Abdul, Inc. D, not middleman D, Inc. D stablecoin has been added to swappable assets on Liberty. Anybody remember that commercial? Liberty Swap.
Yeah.
What's this Inc. D about?
Inc. D is a stablecoin collateralized by Richard Hart's Inc. token. It's a liquidity fork, immutable code on PulseChain. I was pretty pumped that Liberty Swap added it, and I think the rest of the community was too. This is actually one of my most viewed tweets with 21K views. So people were pretty stoked about that concept.
Are you? Is this a stable coin, or do you get more for your money on this particular swap?
On that swap at that time when I took that screenshot, there was obviously like an arbitrage there of $14 if you sent $7,000 from base. The same arbitrage wasn't present if you went from some other chains. So obviously it's just like Liberty Swap's giving you the value there. There is a fee that they charge like I can't remember, 0.5%. So I think in the end it wouldn't have been a win to do that swap as an arbitrage. It doesn't mean it won't be in the future though. It would have been a very low cost swap though, right? Like I think in the end it might have cost you $15 to move $7,000 onto chain after paying the fees, etc. But like the fact that you can move from like USDC on base to PulseChain with like little or no effective fee if you hit the right moment like that is fantastic. To move into like a stable coin that you can stake to make yield on PulseChain is cool.
Stablecoin arbitrage. There you go. Kind of reminds me of this. I was actually at the meetup and tweeted this because shout out to Swizzle Sticks. We were talking about. He alerted me to this, that the PulseX stable pool is paying around 15% on PulseX DEX, and I thought the last time I checked it was like 5% or something. And then I'm going to check this now. Because I'm curious if volume. If the volume has changed, yeah, how much the volume has changed for that? Because let's see, stable. Let me look at the pools. So liquidity volume. Is it just this uptick we're seeing over the last week or two, where maybe at the last time I checked it was like somewhere through here and it was lower? Because
it'll be volume versus liquidity, right? So if liquidity went down and volume went up, then APR goes up. So there we go, 12%.
Yeah, 12% now.
Yeah. Which so like on stable coins is not terrible at all, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is, you don't expect to have, I don't expect this, after the ink and inflation, all that adjusted, I don't expect PulseX to be the place where to make, like not mad gains, but like it's going to be like the place where, okay, you can make stable gains over time, and the inflation's low on ink, and stable coins, yeah, you'll maybe make 5% or something like that. But I did not expect to see it over 10%, especially not 15%. Like that's a lot of money.
And that's far from the
I'm not sure
highest
even
on
people
PulseChain.
know this. Because I think a lot of people look at the farms. I'm not sure how much they look into the stable swaps, like the stable swap pools and stuff.
It's kind of hard to find, actually. Like you gotta be like info and then stable. It's not, if you go to farm, you don't see, correct me if I'm wrong, the only place to go there is like info, and then look at it from there. That's crazy. Yeah, and then click stable. You gotta like actually know how to get there. Time for a PulseX tutorial at some point. Refresh everyone on where to see stable swap and all that fun stuff. That didn't used to be there. That was an upgrade for PulseX, by the way.
Definitely an upgrade, yeah.
Liberty
and
Swap,
there's good technology there.
I was going to go to Liberty Swap for a minute too and see. Oh yeah, I was going to ask about the. Let's see, just so you can still go. So base, Ethereum, BSC, Arbitrum, PulseChain, and then you can swap into a bunch of different coins, stable coins, meme coins, InkD, bunch of different ones there. So Liberty Swap, pretty good. Probably only going to get better, I imagine. Also, there is apparently some fucks. What's fucksing around? What's going? Uh-oh. It's probably me. Is it me? Let's see.
Like various disclaimers.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
This is another stablecoin example. So this is a pool paying 32%. That's all stablecoins, right? And it's actually all the liquidity forks on PulseChain paired against each other with DAI from Ethereum. So there's lots of places for stablecoins on PulseChain.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I was so surprised when I saw on PulseX like it giving such an amazing deal too. Where can I see which RH stablecoin stack? Where can I see what that is?
If you can go to the Fux website. If you click the box under the orange just below, keep going down, and then keep going down, and then just the go-to button there will take you to the actual pool itself.
Okay.
And then you can see the breakdown of what's in that pool. This is where you add LP, and then you stake it on 2 Fux for the yield. But there's other options too, right? But like stable coins are here to stay on PulseChain. You can just X out that box at the top, scroll up a bit, and you'll see the on the top right corner. There you go, and you'll see the actual. Oh no, we lost it.
Yeah. This one. Well, this is what it's made of, right? USDL, InkD, XDC, PXDC, WDAI. Okay, so if you have a pool, participate in that pool and have those tokens, then you can earn 32% of 2 Fux.
It'll be a combination of swap fees, right? So swapping between the stables. That's the breakdown there. So it's 2 Fux, Fux, as well as the swap fees between the stables.
Gotcha. There you go. Stablecoin earning stuff on the PulseChain.com. That's pretty cool.
And there's other great options too, right? Like there's stables to stables is no impermanent loss, right? And so on whether it's PulseX or on 2 Fux, like if you just have stables, there's no impermanent loss there. I'm not sure now's the time to be in stables. I think there's some opportunities on PulseChain, but if even if it's just sitting there for a month, well, why would you not want to make 15% on PulseX or 32% here? And you don't have to be all in one place, right? Like you can be a little bit here, a little bit there. There's no harm in diversifying your farming positions as long as you're careful in your button pressing. Cheap gas on PulseChain, so easy to have $500 in 10 different places.
The cheapest of gas, I've heard. Yeah. Let's do a few questions here. Sure. Who wants to take Jesse? What do you guys think is better, Hex or eHex, and why?
I tend towards pHex myself, just because I think that's the one that Richard Hart is probably more likely to pay attention to based on previous comments. I think they're both good. The gas situation on PulseChain long term, like 15 years from now, I think is likely going to be better than on Ethereum. So if you're doing Cuatro Cinco stakes and you don't know what you're going to be paying to claim that stake in 15 years, I feel like PulseChain is the safer bet. But you know, I hold both myself. I think they're both going to do just fine.
Kong, is there one you'd like to
Now
snap
we're
more
back
than the
to this debate.
other?
I agree with I agree with Fast in the sense of like, I mean, if you no one really knows what's going to happen in terms of like if Ethereum's going to get their fees under control or how much the grade will be or how much it'll cost. Like I know the longer you stake for, the more computation that the blockchain uses and it'll cost more gas and everything like that. And what I'll say, especially at least in the short term here, is it looks like pHex is one of the stronger or maybe even one of the strongest as of recently RH tickers. Like in this last recent little run up we've had, it's been beating out like that ratio has been outperforming. Like pHex has been outperforming against a lot of other RH tickers. So in that sense, like you probably could choose pHex, like not financial advice or anything like that. But I think there is still, like, if you want to speculate on it and you still have like maybe a chunk of eHex, like I still think there's potentially a play. I don't know if people will bring it back or not or anything like that. But if you are looking for, like, let's say the quote unquote like safer bet, and of course it is crypto, and we're all like just speculating here, but I think pHex would be the the safer bet, so to speak. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to, I'll get back to questions in a second too. I just wanted to go over to, and shield your eyes if you get offended by CoinMarketCap, but I literally never go to this website. However, I know a lot of people do, and I wanted to check it out. And man, why is there so much going on? There's too much. I like not stuff everywhere. This is too much going on everywhere. It's just
seems like they changed it quite a bit.
It's just like there's no white space anywhere. I can't like anchor any of the stuff. It's just too much. Anyways, that's my design preference. But they do have the chat. I remember the chat. There's still people on the chat saying stuff every hour, 3 hours. I would say probably every day. There's people saying stuff. So 83% bullish. People clicking the bullish button. I don't know. Click the bullish button.
And we do not control CoinMarketCap like we control some other things as a community, right? I don't think the PulseChain community couldn't pump that number to 83% in the same way that they would pump reviews for Liberty Swap to 4.9 out of 5. So that's I think that's overall bullish crypto community talk there.
Boom. Trying to see this volume. So are they calculating volume, the 4K? On centralized exchanges, which tend to be these. And Kanga, is that the one that, and Kanga and Safe Trade? I've never used any of these. Is that what we got right now?
I don't even know those exchanges had Pulse listed, but I don't even know what those exchanges are. But
Yeah,
it's weird they don't show the DEX volume.
Will they ever show the DEX volume? Like, why are they not aware DEX
DeFi
exists?
Llama's pretty good at showing that kind of stuff pretty accurately. So
I just want to see what people are seeing out there too. So I come here, I'm like, okay, it's got $4,000 worth of volume, but it's got a total supply of 14 trillion and a TBL of 100. I don't even think that's accurate of any protocol or it's not even PulseX's TBL. Where does this come from? It's got $6 million.
That's a good point. I wonder how they came up with that.
I mean, even just look at the market cap and the volume. You're like, what? That don't make any sense. This is what people are seeing when they go to the normie website. It's ridiculous. And of course, they click on social. They go to Twitter. It's something I brought up the other day. I keep seeing people talk about it. I'm like, yeah, it's a good point. The PulseChain thing hasn't tweeted for years. So we're redoing the websites. Come on, let's redo. If we're going mega marketing, I would expect to see something here. Somebody tweeting. Get the PulseChain intern or somebody up there. Like the Liberty Swap intern. Ooh. I mean, pent up energy, I guess. I wish we had a better front facing site for the most popular crypto website on the planet though.
PulseChain.com is vastly improved over what it was previously, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the when they go here, yeah, they can click on website. Hopefully they click website. They click this, they're going to think, oh, old abandoned project, or why isn't this updated? Reddit. Let's see if Reddit's popping off. Okay, you got some 48 minutes ago, 22 days ago, 6 hours ago. Okay, so there's stuff going on the Reddit at least. There's activity. And then GitHub, if you're checking for like project stuff, there's a little bit activity there, which is not technically important, but at the same time, I guess we haven't had an upgrade for validators for a while too, but whatever.
I feel like some of these things are going to get updated when they need to be, right? Just like the PulseChain website was just updated from sort of basic to pretty awesome. I suspect we'll see the same action with Twitter accounts and stuff like that are relevant to PulseChain. When marketing starts to come out, all of a sudden, wow, they'll seem like maybe there's a team managing those Twitter accounts and they'll start to be active. That could be cool.
Like the amount of people
who did it on purpose. Like he left things out on purpose until the timing was right, and now he's starting to press the buttons.
I agree. So that means, and hopefully around mega marketing, maybe the next month or two, around mega marketing, hopefully we'll see the Twitter start picking up on the official accounts. Because I think that's the biggest thing. It's like people, what do you do when you look at a project? Go to the website, maybe join the Telegram, and you look at the Twitter. Those are like the main pieces of like the normie like way of evaluating projects. So yeah, shaking out the weekends, maybe so.
Totally. But of course, I think it was literally part of that the websites weren't that awesome. I bet we'll see an upgrade to the PulseX front end, as far as visuals go, and that those Twitter accounts maybe they start popping all of a sudden. Like look at Liberty Swap and the amount of traffic they've generated in a very short period of time. That could be the exact same for all those Twitter accounts we associate with Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, etc.
It's the most fun. Apparently, I've been here for red candles most of the time, but I'm still here. 11 pulsing. Boom! We hope to get you many, many green candles and everyone else the maddest of gains shortly. 2 more weeks, I keep hearing. Hopefully. Maybe. We have no idea, but hopefully. Maybe. Could be good.
Indeed.
I like
so you got DeFi Llama up there?
Yeah, it actually gives information that's accurate. Imagine that. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Bridge TVL. We are 50, I want to say 40. There we go. 40. We could 10x that. To get into the top, we're talking about with CryptoSolve on this. To get into the top 10, we need to be around over 2.5 billion. So that's 25x from here. Let's go.
Deal.
Let's go. Treasuries. Did they add treasury? Probably not. Oh, I forgot to clip this video. I saw Altcoin Daily talked about this. All right, you guys get to see it here now. Cool. Let's go. Let's go. There was a sighting for. Come on, YouTube. There was a sighting. Come on. Let's go. Does seem to. Okay. Altcoin Daily. They covered the this one, I think. So let me find it. I think it was they were covering the Ethereum treasury.
More and more of these guys talking about PulseChain as time goes on.
Bro, they almost said it. They almost said PulseChain. It was so close. They didn't say Coinbase on here either, but they almost said PulseChain. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So this one. So no volume. I'll put the link in the chat. You guys can watch it. But watch this.
We're on the screen at least.
Yep. More than once too.
It's really good.
Right? So this is from an account has 1.63 million. 1.63 million subs. The video itself has 70,000 views over 18 hours. And more than once, they showed it briefly another time too. Because I was watching, I was like, oh, I saw the PulseChain Zach. Oh, they're going to talk about it. And then they brought it up there too. So you can see it right on the screen. They don't say PulseChain. They say BitMine, SharpLink, Ethereum Foundation, and U.S. government. But they don't say Coinbase. They don't say Ether Machine. They don't say Golem or other ones. But their mouse is hovering around it. They're hovering around the PulseChain stack. I like the marketing. Look at the free marketing we get just by having a lot of ETH.
Totally. And I suspect that was part of the plan, because Richard posted about that he was left out of that list, and then those Ethereum strategy guys responded and added him to the list.
You think Altcoin Daily, we had that thumbnail a while back. I'll pull it up here. Do you think they got some hexagons in there?
Surely there must be some undercover. There's probably some, like in every big organization. Like there's probably some Coinbase guys who are like big on hex, like all of the above.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like they might not mention it right away, or just in like those groups. But I'm sure the hexagons have infiltrated a lot of those crypto spaces and stuff. So,
all right. Once the green candles come, these guys are going to start to roll over because they're going to get awesome engagement, right? Like if you start talking about PulseChain, you'll get huge engagement. So it'll be an immediate payoff for any of these influencers to come over. Just like we saw that Xavier guy came over, like the community more or less embraced him right away, right? So like guys with 1 million followers, they come to PulseChain and like they're going to get so many retweets. It's going to be a huge payoff right away. They won't do that till there's green candles where they, have something to talk about, but like it's huge. But like, yeah, look at that. He's got PulseChain right at the top there. Sweet.
That happened. That was in
Bullish.
I want to say early 2024. Yeah, they put the logo. So I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, I wonder somebody there. They're like, you know what? You don't have to talk about it because they didn't talk about it in the video. You don't have to talk about it. Just put the logo there. Just put the logo there. They'll go wild. And then now we got the logo. Yeah, right.
And it's totally true. Like we will engage. And like if you say negative things, we will engage negatively. If you say positive things, we will engage positively. So it's like it's a real carrot or the stick thing. But like real influencers, they're not necessarily looking for people to like them. They're looking for engagement, for views, and for actual just actual influence. So like they will talk about PulseChain one way or another once it gets like some green candles. Whether it's positive or negative, they will engage with PulseChain.
Bullish. Shut Tam, by the way. I'll get back to questions in 1 second. But the Hex token, she had a post on the Hex token recently. It's pretty good. Still only costs $165 to lock in a 5555 T-share on PulseChain. Your front row ticket to the 2041 bull run. This will be the most asymmetrical bet you'll ever see in your lifetime. Bookmark this. One day you'll wish you had because you won't be able to afford to anymore. Never forget Richard signed this asset and everyone that followed it. The singular mission, take Hex to number one, keep it there. Every move has been intentional, every product part of the plan. The only asset that will become more rare than Hex itself is a T-share.
Great.
T-shares. Today is the 5th, by the way. So I think I'm gonna start National T-share Day every month on the 5th. You're welcome to create a 5555 stake in solidarity with the mission of wealth generation.
There we go. That'll make a nice staking ladder 15 years from now.
Happy 5555 day, everyone. It's the 5th, and next month I'm going to say it again too. Hex token. Also, real quick too. If you're interested in the mechanics of Hex token, see, this was the stake. So this stake got ended, and then somebody asked, "Oh, where's the Hex go? Does it get burned?" Hexologist just says 50% goes to stake, 50% goes to OA. There's always little details that if you read the Hex white paper and all that stuff, you'll see. But I was like, you know what? I actually want to see this on chain. So anyone's interested in actually seeing it, and you could use Block Explorer stuff to see it. How this works with Hex principles and penalties. So you get the principal, plus rewards minus penalty meant to the staker, half the penalty meant to the OA, half penalty goes to the daily payout pool. And then, for example, on this one, the previous daily payout, or in general, daily payout, day 2, 2070, shows 67 million hex was distributed to stakers. And this is for this particular transaction. You can see the minting happening, and then the contract will work with the daily payout. You can see that it is the hex origin address, and then you can see that in the code. And so you can kind of follow that. And if you want to look at different stuff on the blockchain for the OA and all that. And you can talk to that contract yourself and just query it and ask what the payout is and all that fun stuff if you know how to talk to contracts. I did a little bit of stuff on that before. I even did I think on my blog, there's even a walkthrough of how to use, like how to talk to the Hex contract for just calling simple stuff or get information from it. So if you want to nerd out and see how it actually works instead of the simple answer, which is a lot of people forget 50% goes to the stakers, 50% goes to the OA for all that stuff, then you can check that out.
Nope.
Everyone's asleep now. There we go. I'd put everyone to sleep with the
Amen.
nerd stuff.
I think that's what they're here for.
You know, you don't come to RHMax.tv to be lied to your face with bearish news.
This is bullish news right here. Let's talk about this.
You want to talk about it?
5 days.
I'm excited for the Hex conference.
I don't talk about it too much. You guys want to talk about it? You like those rockets?
I really want to talk about it.
You like those rockets? I like the rockets.
Yeah, rockets are good. I think that pyramid is probably means something, or is that a mountain? What's going on there? That's cool.
We'll have to find out.
But we'll probably read into that too much.
Definitely. But I think, 5 days, 3 to 6 hours a day, right? Like it's going to be a very bullish 5 days for Hex, right? And people will enjoy that content. I'm sure there'll be some juicy alpha that gets dropped there. So, follow RHMax on Twitter, bookmark that, be there for those days, 18th to the 22nd of August.
Events coming up again. Yeah, you can feel free to sign up. There's a button here. I'll drop the link in the chat. Sign up for Hex Week. I already had 22. Let's see. Let me go to. I just posted this beforehand. Yeah, 20 submissions so far. Lots of good talks, people. So sign up. Oh, I was going to add Access because I haven't seen Access. I think Access is going to do the. You want to do the Communist panel, and I haven't seen a submission yet. So let me Access is supposed to do Communists. I think you signed up for Communist panel too, Fast. You expressed interest.
I'm not sure. I signed up for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you're like, whatever you need me. I like that. Thank you. You produce a lot of great content for the community. So there's definitely lots of places where you can have a good commentary for it.
Yeah, no problem. I like to fit in where I can. It's so sometimes you just have to be there for the community, and the best way to do that, if you're an influencer, or even if you haven't done it before, is consider signing up for like one of these panels, right? You can get to say your piece about Hex at this one, and there other events. We're talking about Pulse, we're talking about PulseX. So if whether you're face on the screen or not, if you have something cool to say, and you think you'll do a good job, then sign up. Everybody's got to start somewhere, right? So, and one of these panels with 10 different people, like that's an easier place to start than revving up your own YouTube channel. Vroom.
Lots of events, conferences. You never know if there will be an Ink conference at some point as well. Never know if there's going to be InkCon 2025. You never know. Yep. Speaking of conferences, 4th annual PulseChain conference will be August 15th through 17th, 2020. Oh, wow. Coming up soon. Coming up in less than 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
So speaker sign up coming soon. I'll drop that in the chat in case anyone's interested. So got
last time Richard Hart spoke was at one of these events. So who knows?
Never know. Hopefully get some commentary for him on Hex Week and PulseChain conference and all kinds of fun stuff. More conferences, the better. Let's go. Everyone, go start your own conference. Go get people to sign up. Go put in the work and do the conference and hopefully, If I don't
respect
do it.
This stuff is a lot of work. Like it's a ton of work that Max is doing or that Maddie's doing for these conferences. Like influencers are all crazy people. It's like herding cats. So like to get like 30 of them on the screen in a day and run that for 5 days, get 100 influencers to show up for work at a specific time on a specific date. Like it's not easy, but the effect it has on the community is huge. And part of like at this time in the market, it's going to be an advertising event. Like we're going to get new eyeballs. In the past, though, in the bear market, these kinds of things are what holds us together, right? Like it's some of them were just for the community. It's us talking to each other. But now at this point in the bull market, I think it's going to be us talking to the world. So yeah, let's show up for work, people.
So fun. I'm excited. 2025. Lots of fun.
Yeah, I'm
stuff
excited.
coming.
I think hopefully I'll be on for maybe a few panels and stuff. So
Let's do some panels. You gonna be around? Talk about the Hex token.
yeah, definitely.
I like it. Yeah, I went through all the submissions. I finally got through them all, and it was just Yeah,
Do you know how many you got?
22 so far.
22 so far.
So far, got to pump those numbers up. Come on, it's Hex week. We got 24 plus hours of content to do over 5-day period. 3 to 6, 9 hours. Sorry, damn it, messed it up. 3 to 6 hours. Hold on, what's the 9 part? I need to go back to my own tweet. 3 to 6. Oh, 9 plus speakers per day. That's what it was. Let me go back to it. Gonna mess it up again. Here we go. The numerology is important. 5 days of 3 to 6 hours of content and 9 plus speakers each day. That was an easy one. That was just kind of like I just need a 9 number of some sort. So there we go. Going to have definitely 9 plus speakers per day so far from what I've seen. It's filling up though. I mean, multiple people are doing multiple talks and panels, and I've still haven't, access. Come on, go do the communities panel. Sign up. I don't think I've seen Coffee sign up yet. Coffee, you're interested, feel free. Anyone else out there? Sign up. I'll get you on the schedule. And again, you don't have to do like Facet. You don't have to do your own talk or anything. You just be on a panel and just, especially if you haven't been on stream a lot or anything, it's an easy way to get introduction to the community and talk about greatest ecosystem on earth. A lot of fun stuff.
Indeed.
Last one, gents, before we wrap up, we got sorry, I can't get to all the questions right now. Maybe I get one more question of this, but I want to cover this. What is your pitch for someone who's buying Ethereum to go buy PulseChain? I think Fast Abdul had the most liked comment on this. Ethereum was PulseChain's testnet. Buying PulseChain is like buying Ethereum in the first year, but with better tech than it had been. Well done.
Thank you.
That's a good tweet.
I think that's 100% true, right? Like PulseChain doesn't. It's behind by 4 Ethereum updates, but they could be implemented, I believe, in order. But if you look at the state of PulseChain now versus the state of Ethereum on day one, it is way better tech, like a lot better. Vitalik himself could verify if he's watching. If he could please comment. And like price wise, also way better. So your chance for price appreciation on PulseChain versus Ethereum, considering the status of the tech and the status of the price, I think is much better.
What do you think? Kong, what is someone's like, I'm going to go buy some ETH. I'm going to go set up I got on Coinbase. I got the Coinbase. I'm going to get some ETH. You like, bruh, what would you, comma?
Well, I would direct them to the ratio and stuff. And currently, I mean, in the past 21 days, and I'll measure it more exact here. Yeah, in the past 14 days, actually, PulseChain's up 78% versus Ethereum. So it's like, I mean, if let's say you want to have Ethereum, if that's what you want, like you can always find those leverage plays, which I think is exactly what PulseChain is, which also when Hex came out, like Richard kind of talked about how he wanted to outperform Bitcoin, wanted to outperform ETH, wanted to outperform pretty much majority of the crypto market, right? So in that sense, like it is maybe high risk, high return, but you do have that opportunity. Like you can't outperform Ethereum holding Ethereum unless you're maybe like validating and you have, how much is it now? Like 100 grand to become a validator on Ethereum or something like that, maybe more. So
did they do some
32 ETH you need?
Okay.
Like it's a lot of money.
I thought they did something around the EIPs to make it where you need even more ETH.
It's not that you need
actually
more,
think I
it's
saw
that you
something
can
like
have
that.
more.
You can have
up
matters.
to 2,040 ETH, 48 ETH instead of a maximum of 32 per validator. It's so that institutions could roll in and be like, okay, we're going to run validators with 2,000 ETH and just roll that in and not have to run 100 separate validators. So it's it's a bullish thing overall for crypto, that big money could roll into ETH, which I think would have a trickle down effect to PulseChain.
Kong, what's the go ahead.
I think if you look at it like that as well, it's like who holds a ton of Ethereum, and to the looks of it too, it looks like the Sacrifice wallet was buying a lot of the Ethereum before the institutions were. Maybe it wasn't the best price or the worst price in the entire world or anything like that, but it's like if Ethereum moves up and if those institutions kind of cater to Ethereum and cater to holding that price up a little bit, I think PulseChain will, and especially that Sacrifice wallet, will benefit from that. So, which I think is positive for our community.
Like, what if that Sacrifice wallet started running validators, and the yield from the validators indefinitely flowed into PulseChain? When you start to talk about 166 100,000 ETH, that's, the yield alone would be ridiculous.
Kong, did you have you want to talk about any macros or anything that you're seeing bullish on the broader ecosystem as well?
Yeah, I'll bring up just a few things on some of these institutions and stuff. Let me find this is a screen. Just to do with BlackRock and Fidelity. I guess these are gonna be the two guys I pick on today. But this is their historical balance of Ethereum. You can see like they didn't really have much. Like I think Richard had his back in March, right? These guys started to pick up some more Ethereum really in July 2024. So a little bit, I believe a little bit after Richard, if my memory serves me right. They kind of ran up that whole run up into like February, even like a little bit just borderline into March, when the market started to take a little bit of a turn at that point. Plus you can see their Ethereum holdings start to take a little bit of a turn. But you can see here, like they just stacked a ton of Ethereum, right? And this has like been the trend recently with a ton of institutions. And even if you compare it to Bitcoin, you can see the chart is up and to the right in terms of their Bitcoin holdings, but Ethereum had like it. To me, it almost. I'm sure if I pulled out the percents and stuff, it looks like they're increasing their Ethereum holdings a lot more than they are increasing their Bitcoin holdings, relatively speaking. Right? We'll take a look at that Ethereum chart again. You guys can see, especially as of recently, and of course, this isn't loading anymore. Let's see if I did something wrong. Well, yeah, I don't know what just happened, but I think the chart broke.
You see BlackRock 3 times and they rugged.
Yeah, they heard me talking about them, and anyways, Fidelity as well. It's like pretty much the same trend, where as of recently, like pretty much like during that April, May kind of lows there, they just started piling up Ethereum, like way more and way harder than they are like adding to their Bitcoin stacks. And hopefully I don't break this site again if I switch it around. But you can see their Bitcoin holdings, they're actually depleting in Fidelity, which is interesting. Like that, this is technically what I would say is a bit of a trend change. Like I've been watching some of these guys for months and months and months and months and months and months and months, and it's always been, from what the looks of it, that they were trying to prioritize their Bitcoin holdings and always prioritizing their Bitcoin holdings. And Ethereum looked sort of second in my perspective, how I was looking at these things. But hopefully this doesn't break again. And of course it does. But yeah, you guys saw it before on the stream. But they just start to really, really pile on Ethereum as of recently. I'm going to try refreshing it to see if it fixes it. But yeah, there we go. Just need a refresh. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's pretty much like, I mean, we saw their Bitcoin holdings going down while their Ethereum holdings, like this went from 299 to 755K. So over doubled their holdings and stuff. And we'll refresh the BlackRock side to hopefully get it working again. Ethereum, yeah, there we go. And you guys can see this as well. Like this went from 1.2 million holdings to 3 million holdings. So again, they over doubled over doubled the amount of Ethereum they're holding. Compare that to Bitcoin, like maybe they went from 500K to 700K, so maybe plus 50%. So to me, this is new. Like they haven't been stacking as much Ethereum. Like historically, like what I've seen is it's almost been quite the opposite, where they've been treating Ethereum as like, to me it looked like a little bit of a piggy bank, where they want to make sure they're holding their Bitcoin. But now maybe the tide has turned a little, and they're seeing the more of the value of Ethereum. And I'll tie that into PulseChain as well with this chart. PulseChain outperforming Ethereum 78%, and we talked about that kind of leverage factor, and we see it happen when Ethereum moves up. PulseChain, maybe it's not every single day, maybe it's not like programmatically or anything like that, but it's definitely has that sort of I think part of it's Hart's law, and also part of it is just like the lower liquidity. And when Ethereum goes up, I think people have more money to speculate on more altcoins and bring them in. And we'll see what happens with the SAC wallet, but like Fast is saying, like even if that wallet decides to spin up a bunch, maybe not a bunch of validators, but anymore, but have that, one massive validator or anything like that, and kind of trickle that yield into the system, a higher Ethereum price will always mean like more of an injection of liquidity, right? And I think having more Ethereum, more stable coins, more things to, like, I'll say, to get to value on chain is always a net positive, especially with right now where there's maybe a bit of a lack of exchange listings. So to be able to get those funds, you have to go through those value avenues, let's say. So
it definitely seems like there's a correlation, like just, casual observance, not financial advice, but I'll see like Ethereum's up 2%, PulseChain's up 6%, right? It seems like there's a multiplier on the Ethereum pump to the PulseChain pump.
Pump, gotta pump it up. Pump.
Mm-hmm.
Get to this. Yeah, I mean, in general, like the macro too, is just, people stacking ETH. I've been seeing all kinds of, probably an algorithm thing too, but I've been seeing all kinds of just super bullish ETH stuff. You got the treasuries going on. You got, again, do you guys think it'll, do you believe in the Bitcoin to run, and maybe Bitcoin ran? And who knows? And then ETH will. So now it's like ETH time. And then after ETH, altcoins will run. Like, do you all subscribe to that? What do you think?
I think it's probably not wrong. Like we've seen it happen before. Like, so Bitcoin's going to top out, right? Let's say 400K, and then Ethereum tops out at, 50 or 60K, and then it flows into altcoins, and we get the 10,000 X's. So that's something that could happen.
I like the 10,000 X's,
and I think that's been the it's been like, the classic cycle of and I think we're in the loading stage of Ethereum right now. I think I've said, maybe not on stream so much, but once ETH can kind of break past its $4,800 all-time high, kind of close some green candles in the $5,000 range, I think that's like not really what Richard's saying with the match is struck. I don't know when he's gonna do all that for PulseChain and everything like that, but I think in terms of like greater altcoins and having that bull market kind of take off, I think once we see Ethereum like start to climb above those levels, like that's when engines have been ready, warmed, and just ready to take off. So
speaking of engines, Johnny Chaos says there will be distribution centers being set up all over the world for Pulse-centric ongoing blockchain educational campaign. You aren't bullish enough. I don't think people are bullish enough. I don't know why. I think they just don't want to believe that this is the powder keg that's going to explode to ignite the run. But to me, that's what makes sense. I don't just want that to happen. Like, that's actually, it's like, it makes sense. So why not?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous how unbullish some community members are, considering they actually have like pretty much dates from Richard Hart on when things are going to happen, right? Like, you have a date on the calendar for massive, never before seen marketing. Why would you not load up?
We did pass the 2 months mark, I think, now though. However, there was an update about more weeks or something. So even when he
Yeah.
said 2 more months, I was like, oh god, okay, it's probably gonna be like 3 or 4 months. That's what like my take, even seeing it then. It's like,
The
okay,
actual
maybe-
logistics of moving millions of physical objects and distributing them to millions of people is fairly intense.
Did you all know that this is a bachelor auction apparently, and Kong is the #1 target? Making some assumptions there that Kong is available, but if it's for the good of the chain, Kong, you're all right with it, right?
Yeah. Take one for the team, Kong.
What do I need to do?
I'll
Bids
let you
for
know.
a date with Kong are up to 10 million pulse.
That's right.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what they're telling me. 10 million pulse. Yes, that's right.
I feel like we need to up the price on that, but
That's
You
true.
can bid yourself if you want to avoid it, but
1 billion pulse. 1 million pulse. What if pulse is 10,000x? 1 million pulse could be worth a lot of dinero. A lot of money. One of the good ones.
a little engagement farming at Kong's expense, but but by all means, if you're interested, comment in the chat. We can we'll hook you up with Kong.
I hope I get a piece of that pulse. I mean, I'll gladly take it. So
Pulse
Mercenaries.
is good. I like the pulse. Pulse is good. Gents, bullish. A lot of bullish. A lot of good stuff. Chat, also bullish. And why not? Why can't we go to the moon? What price god is there saying we can't do another 10,000x? What price god is holding us? What is holding us back at this point? I'm sure everyone come up with their favorite thing. This the reason why we haven't pumped yet. What if we do pump relatively soon? I'm going to be around for. I want to capture some of those gains, right, guys?
It's only time, in my opinion, is holding us back. So it's timing is everything with markets. Richard really understands timing. He understands the concept of just-in-time delivery, and I think we will get delivery literally just in time.
that's a good point.
Amazon's delivering drones. We're going to be delivering mad gains, opportunities.
He's gonna Amazon deliver some green candles. So
Deal.
I'd like some of those Amazon green candles over the last 25 years. They've been pretty good.
oh yeah, that's a
The
good
favorite-
point too.
The favorite example of Richard to give of Amazon went down 99% and came back, or whatever it was. There you go. We can do it. We can do it.
Oh yeah.
Get it to 10,000x. Gents, excellent conversation. What are you calling fast? What do you want to take us out on?
I'll say hopefully you guys got your bullish pants on. I think the time is coming. I think it sounds like even Richard's saying. I think it was a good stream, and thanks again, Max, for having me on. And if you guys want to look more into me or my stuff, you can find me on X at CryptoKong145, and some of my websites is tokentrader.win. So
Bullish.
I'll leave everybody with a comment that now's the time to pull together as a community for marketing purposes, and that means liking and sharing PulseChain influencers, whether you like them or not. Right? Worst case scenario, you do not comment if it's not good. Press the share button grudgingly anyway. Right? Like we're looking for overall effect here. So if you have people who are working for the community and you don't necessarily agree with all their views, just suck it up for a couple months. Press the share button anyway. Let's get the information out there. The more overall views for the chain, the better. So yeah, come together, people. Hold hands for a couple weeks, and then we can go back to throwing shit at each other in the bear market.
Well, that is all we got for you today, everyone. We're going to go out with a 10,000x video. Let's get those numbers up. Let's pump those likes. Let's pump those views. Let's pump those content creation and energy and optimism and all that fun stuff. Life's too short to be just this sucks. Let's go.
Hex's stock is complete. Project not complete. Do not the same thing. Promise returns and go build something. How much X is Bitcoin up? Yeah. 1,000x over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000x. Smart fucker I am. Everyone else cries and whines like a little bitch. Oh, 1,000x over a penny. It was designed to replace fiat currency. Back to the 10,000x, smart fucker I am. Well, then it was fucking designed. 10,000x, it's impossible. How can he do that? Listen, you stupid fucks, everything else is up higher. Bitcoin did 2 million x, $1,500 fucking dollars.